Welcome to Testing Board. Today we are going to learn about alpha testing. By end of the session, you'll learn about what is alpha testing, understanding alpha testing with real life example. How do we do alpha testing? Why do we do alpha testing? When do we do alpha testing? Why should we do alpha testing? Where do we do alpha testing? After understanding this 5 W's and H questions on alpha testing, we'll see what are the entry and exit criteria for alpha testing and followed by a few set of common interview questions which would be helpful for candidates. Now, what is alpha testing? As alpha testing in SDLC process starts after unit integration and system testing. Alpha testing is the first phase where we validate and test all the end-to-end use cases of a customer and make sure that all the business requirements are covered properly. This testing would be helpful for us to identify bugs before releasing it to the production. This is also happens on the end of software development lifecycle. This would be tested in testing environment. That's why this is also called as on-site UAT testing. Now let me give you an example for alpha testing. Now TCS is a service provider which builds a loan system and management tool for SBI. Now SBI users can directly log in into the application and they can see for loans whether they are eligible for specific loans. They can apply for loans. They can see the status of the loans and they can also check for the past EMIs and future EMIs. This is the product that TCS want to build for SBI. Now what do they do? Before releasing this product, TCS employees, those can be developers, those can be QA engineers, or those can be product managers. They will test and verify all the user scenarios and making sure that are working as expected. Once this is internally tested by TCS employees, the same product will be also be tested by client. Now this particular kind of testing is called alpha testing, and this happens in on-site environment, that is a testing environment, not on the production environment. Once alpha testing is completed, then there comes the beta testing. Now what is the other use case? Let me take another example of Google. Google is trying to build a search engine, and for Google, the clients or the end users, those will be like customers like me and you. They can search particular string and you will see the results. Now internally team will come up with what are the different use cases, or what are the different search strings, or what are the different sentences that as a user thinks and searches here, and validate that it is working as expected. Now we will learn about phases of alpha testing. In phase 1, testing is performed by software engineers or software developers. They use different hardware debuggers or software debuggers which will help us to identify crashes or any issues in initial stages of development. This would be helpful for us to identify the issues quickly and also fix it quickly. In phase 2, this would be happening by QA engineers or product managers, or sometimes it can be client. Here they try to mimic or imitate the real-time behavior of users, like something like logging into the system, resetting password, or applying for the loan. These kind of scenarios would be tested either in phase 2 by QA engineers or product managers, or sometimes it can be client. Now how to do alpha testing? Now alpha testing can be done in different steps. The first step would be like reviewing the design specs and understanding functional requirements. Once they do understand design specs and functional requirements, they build a test plan and test cases. Now they execute each test case one by one. If they find any issues, they will create a ticket, or they will create an issue, or they will create a bug and follow up with the developers. Once the developers fix it, they will retest it such a way that all the issues are fixed, and they will go for beta testing. Now why, who, where, and when should we do alpha testing? Why? By now we got to know about why do we do it. This gives an insight of a quality of application. All the user flows will be validated as a last step before doing beta testing. This will be helpful to identify critical bugs before releasing it to the production, or before releasing to beta testing. Now who does it? It can be done by QA engineers or developers or internal employees. Sometimes it can be clients. When it would be performed? This would be performed in the final stages of SDLC cycle and before beta testing and before releasing it to production. Where do we do beta testing? This is happened on testing environment at developer site or location. Entry and exit criteria for alpha testing. What is the entry criteria? Now all the features that we are planning to go as a release should be implemented, that is coded, and it should be able to testable. And the team, whoever is testing this product in alpha testing, should have a good knowledge of product understanding. Such a way they need to know about the use cases. Test cases and test environment should be ready to test, and build should be ready for execution. What is the exit criteria? Now we need to make sure that all the test cases are executed and all severity issues should be fixed and closed. Now by end of this, we need to provide a alpha testing report and sign off for that. Now these are the common set of interview questions where you can pause for a minute and try to recall it. Thank you.